showtime.
Fire and water, earth and the sky, mysteries surround us, legends never die. They live for the moment lost in time. I can hear them call, they're locked within the crystal ball.
Hey everybody, it's the D-Rock 100 and welcome back to more of Pokemon Moon. I actually caught myself from not seeing the last Let's Play. Seriously, that happens every now and then. What a crime. Last time, we started off our journey at dusk. And we gotten ourselves our very first Pokemon of Bubbleman the Popplio. And in this episode, we are going to be heading back to our home and showing our mother a beautiful comrade to team and having to make us a sandwich. Oh, right. We also got this guy. Hey, you and me. Let's have a Pokemon battle. Where's the fire, boy? And what kind of a Pokemon battle would that be where you don't even give a name first, huh? Fair enough, then I'm Hal, and my partner's Litten. Your Popplio looks really cool too. Thanks? Yeah, so let's battle. Couldn't wait to find you your way to IKI Town, so I've been all over looking for you. I don't really like to see Pokemon battles when Pokemon can get hurt, but I'll watch for you. Oh yeah, your first battle already. Just have your Pokemon dish out some moves and see who wins. Woo! I appreciate you being willing to take on my grandson here. I expect a no-hold-bar battle from the both of you. You will battle me, right? I know you will, right? Yeah, and I won't lose. Alright, this is gonna be great! Very well then, let the Pokemon battle begin! This guy! This is Trainer Hal! He's gonna start off with his only Pokemon of Litten! Level 5, pure fire type, Blaze for the ability with Scratch, Ember, and Growl. His choice of Pokemon will depend on the starter that you chose. If you started off with a Rowlet, he will have a Popplio, level 5, pure water type, Torrent for the ability, with Pound Water, Water Gun and Growl. Or if you start off with the Litten, he would have a Rowlet, level 5, with Grass Flying type, Overgrow for the ability. I had to make my correction on that one at one point. With Tackle, Leaf Edge, and Growl. So, let's boogie. Oh wow, you're faster than I thought. Not to worry. So let's end this quickly. Oh no! My attack point fell while water guns are special, but no. Goodbye. And Bowman's at level 6. Whoo-ha! Talk about a breeze. Woo-wee! That gave you chicken skin. I don't know what that is, and I don't really want to know. Derek, right? Your Popplio was awesome! Now that settles it. I'm going all out tomorrow. Derek, would you be so kind to give me a look at that sparkling stone you have there? Could it be? Tudu, isn't that? You rescued by Tapu Koko at the bridge. Isn't that what I heard, Derek? Yeah, it rescued me. So it even designed us to give you a stone. Or deemed to give a stone, never mind. Perhaps you are here in Alola, Derek, because this is where you are meant to be. Allow me to borrow the stone for now. Fret not, I'll return it to you tomorrow evening. It would seem that you have the makings of a fine trainer. Oh, wow, this is hollow crap. You must do us the honor of joining in our festival tomorrow. First, I'll make sure you get back home safe today, though, Derek. Lily, you two should come with us in too, yeah. Wouldn't want you to go losing you twice in one day. You honor that precious Pokemon of yours. Yes, I will keep an eye on. Hi. Oh, you! Were you not trying to escape in the very moment that you were told not to wander off? Welcome back, Derek. So, what kind of Pokemon did you get? So keep me waiting. Oh, I think I'm falling in love. So why did you choose this, sweetheart? Because it's cool. Well then, you picked right. Because I say this little Char is definitely cute and cool. The two of you look great together. I feel happier than just looking at the pair of you. Dang right. Gotta have that unique jingle somewhere. The next day. What a stunning sunset. Alright, today's the day I finally unpack. Is that the doorbell? Go see who it is, Derek. Why, yes, mother. Breaking and entering! Hey there, Derek! It's about time we set out for the festival, yeah! But first, now that you're a real Pokemon trainer with your own Pokemon and all, I've gotta show you something. Come with me out to Route 1. Have fun at the festival, sweetie. I'm sure you'll have a good time here with your new Pokemon pal. Me and Meowth will be sure to unpack every last box here. You'll see. If you say so. Derek, hurry up, cousin. Pretend you're a Pokemon and use your agility. Why, yes, of course. I will use my agility and to go as quickly as I can because apparently you're way over here. Yeah, over here. So you know that wild Pokemon will sometimes jump out at you in the tall grass, yeah? Now that you got Popplio there, you can not only fight wild Pokemon, yeah! You can also try to catch them. Woo! This guy's way too energetic. Gonna show you how to catch a wild Pokemon, alright? Keep your eyes on the prize! A Piggy Peck! So basically, this is just a tutorial how to battle wild Pokemon, catch a wild Pokemon. I'm sure a lot of you have seen something like this once before. Gotta weaken a Pokemon up a bit before you lobbing a Pokeball at it. Well, that's not always the case, but I'll have you know, I've had quite the reputation of catching some Pokemon while at full health. I'm sure many people have done that as well. Oh yeah! Wild Pokemon do sometimes attack people if you get too close, but catch them and they'll join your team and be a great help to you, yeah! But if your Pokemon all get tuckered out and by fighting for you, just head home for a bit. If you ask your mom, I'm sure she'll let you and your Pokemon whole team rest up at home. Or you could use some potions. Here's some Pokeballs and potions to get you started out. Well, yes, I will indeed use these to my advantage. And I will also use these to my advantage. Why don't you have a little adventure of your own on the way to IKI? Yeah! Take good care of it, Papaleo. Dude, Papaleo's not even out here, but if you say so. Okay! So I guess now and then we're at this point. How fitting. Let's go ahead and talk about the 6 Pokemon that you can find at this part of Route 1. There are 2 sides into this route, but I'll only cover the one that we're at the very moment because we don't really have any means of going to the other side, at least as of yet. But no worries, we will indeed get to it in due time. So, starting things off, Caterpie! This bug-type Pokemon, in a way, needs no introduction. If you want one, by all means, you'll actually find a sheer number of bug-type Pokemon from around here at the beginning of the game. And it may not be a bad idea to have a bug-type or 2 on standby, especially if you're playing Sun. Honestly, this is not bad. It does level up to level 7 to become a Metapod, which I'll talk about later. If you want one, Shield Dust is definitely a very good ability. But I definitely would recommend this for something a little bit better later on. But if you want one, by all means, it's right here. Next up, only in the nighttime, Alolan Rattata! This is a pure Dark-type Pokemon that, honestly, I kind of consider this to be the superior one out of its 2 appearances. If you want one, I probably wouldn't say that... Oh god, what was the other ability I had? I know that one of them is Gluttony, but... And you're probably seeing it on screen right now, but... Like I said, this one is what I consider to be the more superior one of the group, and... Having a Dark type on your team this early in the game may not be such a bad idea. It is a great location to do some leveling ups if you need to, and... Plus, with some great moves that I can learn from the same type of attack bonus like Bite and Crunch. What's there not to hate about this? Next up, during the day, we will find Ladybug, which is the suckiest suck that ever sucked and don't even bother catching it. Which is what I would say if this wasn't later on in the game. I'm just gonna come out and say this. Having a Ladybug on your team this early in the game, and even for a majority of this whole game, might actually not be a bad idea. While it is meant to be a good special defensive Pokemon, it can be a little bit tricky to use, especially since it knows Comet Punch, which is basically another version of Double Slap. If you want one, I guess it could be of some good use, but there are better other bug types, but I do recommend that you have at least a bug type or 2 on standby as a bit of a just in case. But this is not a bad choice. During the night, we will see its counterpart, Spinarak. This is a bug poison type that, honestly, you could do worse with. I would definitely recommend Swarm for its ability over some of the others. In fact, what's really cool is that this is one of the very few Pokemon that can actually learn the move Spiderweb naturally, which prevents the Pokemon from fleeing. So, if you're looking for any good bug type that can potentially stop Pokemon from fleeing, this is not a bad choice to go for. Downside is it has a sheer number of weaknesses and more than Ladybug does. But, like I said, it is not a bad idea to have a bug type on standby, but then probably ditching it for a better one later. Next up, we've been seeing a lot of lately, Pikipek. This normal flying type is basically what I consider to be the Pidgey clone of this generation. But unlike this Pidgey, this one actually comes out with some very good abilities and that can actually be proven to be quite beneficial. If you want one, this is a good choice to go for. In fact, this is probably one of the popular choices that people start off with right off the bat. In fact, I used this thing plenty of times, and even on my very first playthrough of Sun, it is not a bad Pokemon to have. But even though there are no HMs in this game, I still would recommend you have a flying type Pokemon in case if things get ugly. Next up, during the day, we can find Yungoos. This weird looking normal type is basically a bit of a superior Rattata of Generation 7. Its armed with a very interesting signature ability known as Stakeout. But personally, for an ability that does more damage to a Pokemon that switches out during the turn, can be cool and all, but I still think that you probably are better off with either adaptability or its other ability, which is Strong Jaws. In fact, with some great moves like Bite, Crunch, and the Elemental Feints that I can learn later on if used correctly, you can actually do worse with this. The downside is, I kind of consider this to be a bit of an overused Pokemon, and some of its better moves aren't until later. But that doesn't mean that it's bad, it's just very easy to get into, and I kind of see this as a bit of an overused Pokemon. Okay. So in case you're probably trying to figure it out, I am going to be doing a little bit of some grinding, so I can at least get some Pokemon up into a pretty high level, because we're actually on the verge of getting into another battle in a little bit. So I want to make absolute sure that we get everything all set and ready to go with no problem. Pikachu definitely getting up there. You probably may have noticed that there was a button at the top of the lower screen that has like a bit of a grooming selection. That's basically a great way to get rid of some paralysis. What am I thinking of? Crap baskets. Status problems. That's it. I definitely recommend only doing that when you have status infliction on a certain Pokemon. But the problem is, it only works for a specific Pokemon, but you can do it individually. But it is a little bit hard to get used to when you're a first timer, like I was. And look at this, youngster Jimmy. What is your Pokemon going to be? And it's a Rattata. Okay, what is your power level? 3, eh? Alright. Oh, wow. Please don't. Oh. You don't say. Okay. No, I don't want that. I want to switch. You know, pal, you're really lucky here that I don't have Quick Attack as of right now on Pick It Back, which I'll learn pretty soon, but not bad. Pick it back to level 4, very, very nice. I lost, but that was still exciting. Oh, you're not wrong. So let's see here. Was there anything over here? I have a glass right there. How are we on healing items? 5 left. I do want to catch one other Pokemon before I go to the festival. I think we can get access to this Pokemon, but for the time being, this is what we have at the very moment. You have Audrey here. I like that name, Audrey. Very nice name. Caterpie! I talked about you, but unfortunately I haven't found you yet. But yeah, I'll do a little bit of some more off-screen training before we go too far. Because I don't want to go very far. But definitely doing some on-screen training is going to be the cornerstone of getting through any Pokemon Let's Play such as this. You know what? Yes, I will show off this. Oh, I've had it. Alright. So, for something like this, you may notice that our Pokemon has gotten a little bit dirty. The top right button you have from right here will give you a list of the items that you will be able to help out with your certain Pokemon. I believe with this one you're going to want your brush. Oh, you need a brush. Which is the wrong one. Is it this one? Here we go. So you just rub this onto the location where it's all fuzzy. And there you go. There's another button that's right there on the top left of the screen, but I'll actually talk a little bit more about that later. Because there's actually a time in the game from where more of these things are going to start coming into some good use. Okay, so we got another Pokeball right there. Always good to have. Let's see here. No, we're okay. By the looks of it... Oh, can we? The festival in Nikki Town is going to start any minute now. We should hurry up and go. And... I believe this is pretty much the part of where we're getting into the west side. I kind of wish that's the case. You know what? Why not? Oliver, you deserve this little time in the spotlight. So we have an east side and on the west side. We just recently covered the east side, so I'll go ahead and cover the west side in the process. So we have 3 Pokemon that we can find out here on the west side. First up, Metapod. Metapod is the evolution of Caterpie. I don't recommend him catching it as a Metapod because the only movement that it'll learn is Harden. But that doesn't mean that it's not useless. You can hold on to this Pokemon as a Metapod, but you will need to switch it out and then switch it in for another Pokemon to do battle to level it up easier. But it's not bad, but it can be a little bit tricky to use, especially for this point of the game. But like I said, I recommend just keeping it as a Caterpie for the time being to easier managing Pokemon battles. Next up, Pichu! Yup, the little electric type Pokemon has made its appearance. Pichu! Not a bad Pokemon to start off with. With Thunder Shock and Charm as one of its starting movesets, it can be a very good user for upcoming fights later on. I actually would recommend that you evolve as a Pikachu, at least for at one point in the game, until it reaches the 3rd island before you evolve it. Because there's actually something very interesting that its evolution of Pikachu can get to a little bit later on. But for the time being, Pichu is right here. It'll evolve into a high friendliness. And it's all around not a bad Pokemon. And speaking of not a bad Pokemon, Groobin! I have to say, I kind of consider this to be more of the Weedle of this generation. This is a pure Bug-type Pokemon, and with Swarm for the ability, definitely can complement her well wonderful with that awesome use of Bug-type moves that'll get later on, like, say, Bug Bite at level 10. In fact, it's starting moveset with String Shot and Vice Grip. What's not to like? Plus, I think at this level, you can find it with Mudhenge Slap, which is great for rock types and electric types. If you're looking for any good bug type, this is your guy. The catch is, it's slow and it's very frail, and it actually gains a couple more weaknesses at a later point once it evolves. And also, to evolve it later on, you'll have to go into an electrical location, but we won't be seeing that for, well, a while. So, if you want to have a very good Pokemon, Groobin is a great one, but the catch of that is very slow. The Alola region is made up of our 4 islands. Each island has its own guardian Pokemon. Our festival today is held to express our thanks to these great Pokemon guardian deities for always remaining by our side. Well, we may call it a festival, but it's just as a little thing you see here. There may not be many of us, but at least every last one of us here goes all out. Well, you're not exactly wrong. I'm actually at a little bit of a standpoint at this, but can I actually go back? Okay, yeah, I can go back. So I think probably right here is probably gonna be a good place for us to end things off, because we're actually getting close to another Pokemon battle, and I'm a little bit out of a disadvantage with his very first Pokemon. So for the time being, we're gonna end things off, and next time we're heading back into IKI Town, and we're gonna take part in the festival. See you guys then.